Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 5 of Divine FM. This week, I'm going to be talking about breaking the cycle and taking leaps of faith. So, this seems kind of perfect for me because I've tried recording this episode I think this is my 5th take actually, and I'm closing my eyes and just really trying to zero in on the fact that I need to trust myself, that my word alone and my thoughts alone are enough for this podcast. I took a leap of faith when I decided to make it in the first place, and every single time I sit down so excited to record an episode, I catch myself being like, oh my god, just my head, my mind, my internal voice is, going, oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna say. What if I sound stupid? Whatever. Literally, such a bully, such a mean girl. And I've just been like 4 minutes in, and then I'm like 2 minutes in on my next one, and I'm feeling good. And then I stop and I catch myself overthinking, and I'm like, fuck, why do I do that? I always take a leap of faith, and I feel proud of myself, and then it's so easy to take steps backwards if you just let that trust diminish just the littlest bit, And, I'm definitely not perfect. I all the time have to remind myself of my worthiness and of how highly I think of myself. I feel like I am of royalty. Like, I okay, I say that so lightly. Like, I'm normal. I feel it feels normal thinking that in my head because I'm so used to trying to manifest an abundant lifestyle for myself that I tell those things to myself all the time. Like, I'm royal, I'm royalty, like I'm a billionaire, like I'm extremely wealthy, like I'm a classy woman. Like, you tell yourself those things in order to be able to imagine yourself as that woman. Because if you can imagine yourself in that way, you can trick your brain into realizing that that is possible, and thus you just kind of rewire your brain a little bit, and then it starts to show you ways to be able to become that version of yourself because it knows that's what you want. So it kind of takes you down a new path. Does that make sense? That's kind of what people mean when they say they jump timelines, because they're able to imagine themselves a certain way, and then their brain literally just rewires itself to be able to achieve that. Like, just try it. I swear it works, because I've done it multiple times now, and it's not magic. It's not anything other than being able to achieve something greater than what your brain thinks it can. Being able to really trick your brain into doing more. It's just like, it's a manifestation, I don't know how else to explain it. It sounds kind of crazy coming out of my mouth, but it doesn't to me. But I know to some people it probably does sound crazy. But I've read so many books about this, and there's just so much proof, like tangible proof. I am tangible proof. Like, I have multiple friends who have tangible proof that, like, these ways of living are very fruitful. Like, most billionaires you'll meet, they'll talk about manifestation. They'll talk about how grateful they are and how they wouldn't have been able to do this if they didn't love themselves enough and be able to believe in themselves enough to do it first, So that's why I feel like taking leaps of faith is so important, because we have to be able to be more than our fear in those moments that we feel like we're not good enough, or we can't do it, or what if it goes wrong, or, the list goes on. So, like with my podcast, there was a million and one reasons why I wouldn't do it, why I didn't think I could do it. Like, I had to, it sounds stupid, but, like, I rely on weed, like, kind of a lot. And so, the first month that I did it, I budgeted my weed money for the podcast. And then the next month, I ended up having to, like, put more money into, and so I did it again. And so, like, it kind of helped me a little bit, because then I stopped, like, smoking as much, but then, like, I was really excited about my podcast enough to, like, want to invest in it. And so it kind of, like, was a win-win situation, you know what I mean? But because I took that leap of faith, I wouldn't have, like, stopped relying on weed so much if I hadn't have done my podcast, because my podcast literally brings me enough joy to where I'm not as anxious, so I don't have to smoke, It's just so nice, doing things for yourself. And so you always just have to be able to create a positive outcome for yourself in your head whenever you're doing something that's scary or that's not in your normal routine, that you're not used to. So another thing that I was going to talk about with like leaps of faith is like your career, for example, is I would consider my podcast my hobby right now, because I'm not in that influencer world as of right now, like obviously I would love to have that as like a side like income, like obviously, and would love for my podcast to be like, obviously that's the goal, is like to make money for my podcast, and also in making money I will be helping people, because the only way I'll even be monetized is if I have like a certain amount of views and things, and like views are what I want. So manifesting views, guys. Like and subscribe if you haven't, like and follow. But yeah, so with your career, I'm in a certain field that's very niche and very engineer based. Like, it's like a man's world. And whenever I started that job, and I'm still a secretary there, so it's not like anything crazy, but I never in a million years would have imagined me wanting to be at a place like that. But because I like put myself at that job where, I don't know, I like to be in places also where it's gonna make me work harder. It's not gonna be easy for me. It's gonna be a challenge, and I'm gonna grow from it for sure. Like, that's the only kind of environment I ever want to be in. And it's also the only kind of environment you guys should be in, because if you're in a place that keeps you stagnant, you're gonna die there. That's all I gotta say about that. A friend of mine said today that change is the only thing that's constant, and that couldn't be closer to the truth. So keep that in mind as well. So yeah, put yourself in places that make you uncomfortable, because like with my job, I feel like I have a lot of potential to grow there, and I want to grow there now the longer that I'm around it. Like, I've been around so many like men who are twice my age, 3 times my age, but I can get along with them like we're buds. And this version of Abby right now that can get along with like 60-year-old men who work in a trade is unbeknownst to me, like last year, let alone like 7 months ago probably. But I just had to be able to imagine myself in a place where I am a confident woman around men like that. It's also helped me a lot at the gym, actually, because I go in the morning, like right when they open, right before I have to go into work, because I have to be there for at least like an hour and 15, 20. And there's a lot of like, it's mostly people like twice my age, maybe 3 times my age. And before, I would like feel really nervous around like specifically men that age, because I'm a young woman, and I'm like wearing gym clothes, and I'm really sweaty, and I'm not stupid. Like, I know that they're gonna want to look, and I know that they probably will, but also I'm at this place where I don't care if they look, because I'm not there for them, I'm there for me. And my attention span is so focused on the fact that I'm trying to build muscle and be like, I want a certain physique, and I'm really, really trying to focus on it. And it's so nice to be able to be in this place where I don't give a fuck about people looking at me in the gym, because it has helped my motivation, and I get through my workouts actually so fast, and so I can add like an extra 15 on the treadmill or something at the end, which is, I'm there for just as long as I want it to be, but I'm doing even more than I plan to do, which is even better for me. So, like, going to the gym, for example, was taking a leap of faith for me too. I was so terrified of the gym. Like, gym anxiety is so freaking real. I gained like 40-ish pounds, like maybe even more than that. I gained quite a lot of weight after I like stopped going to the gym around 2021, 2022. And then I barely started going back this year in July. And I didn't even really start to like lose weight until like being there for about 3 months. Probably leaving my engagement helped a lot with me losing weight, because I just focused way more on myself too. But I told myself that I didn't feel comfortable enough going to a gym until I was at like a certain physique, and that was like literally like so out of my range. Even as of right now, like I wouldn't have been able to go if I continued to stay at what I was telling myself. But that was only because I was imagining myself at literally my skinniest honestly not even that much. I was so little whenever I had first started going to the gym, because I would go sometimes twice a day, 3 times, like 3 hours a day, and I would be there really, really late at night, and I would just be like fucking going so hard, and I just like, but I really only cared about that validation that people were giving me because of my body. And now whenever I'm at the gym, I'm so much more intentional with what I do that I don't even step on the scale anymore, because honestly it's unmotivating, because I'm like not the lightest person ever, but I'm also so sexy. Like, I'm aware that I'm fucking sexy because I embody my feminine, like my feminine beauty, my divine feminine, I guess you can say. Like, I have embraced my body, my natural body, and I work out according to what my body needs and how I want it to look and how I want it to feel. And I feel like that in turn shows itself, you know? And that's how it is with everyone. Everyone knows their own body. And when you go to the gym, focus on how it makes you feel and how you want it to look. And you can manifest that body for yourself, you know? It really also depends on your body shape. Like, you can't have, you know, don't have like unrealistic standards unless you want to like do extra work, like that's like not just the gym. But I'm saying, like, with your natural body, like, anything is possible if you really, really put your mind to it. Like, you can have a fat ass if you just work for it, you know? There's so many workouts out there that you don't have to have like a pre-existing butt to be able to have a fat ass. Like, I promise you guys, if you work out, you're gonna get one. I've been doing it for so long. Like, I try to do legs every single day if I can, because I have really big legs to begin with, and so I really want to slim them down. But also, I really care about the fact that I want to have strong legs, and I want to be able to do a bunch of squats, and I want to be able to like pull really heavy things and lift really heavy things, and I want to be able to be 80 years old and still be able to drive a car and, you know, maybe even like go on runs. And I want to be very healthy for a very, very long time. And in order to do that, I had to force myself to start going to the gym. And so I did. I felt like working out at home just wasn't enough. I only had 10-pound weights and 8-pound weights. And I clearly needed to be using heavier weights, and I needed to be doing more running exercises, and I needed jump ropes, and I needed just so many more things. And I feel like my body and my physique has changed tremendously since I started going to an actual gym. And I just took a leap of faith, and I got a gym membership at the gym that I really wanted to go to, but gave me the most anxiety ever. And I fucking love it there. Like, every time I go, I always meet a new girly friend, girly pop. Like, we share workouts together. Oh, like, I just met this girl the other day, and she, like, lifts, like, with the whole bar, and, like, she looks like a powerlifter. And I went up to her, and I was just like, girl, like, you're so strong. Like, how did you learn how to do that? Like, it really intimidates me to use those because I don't, like, know the proper technique. Like, and so and then she ends up sharing me, like, her, like, Excel spreadsheet of, like, all of her workouts. And then we exchange, like, you know, emails, and we're gonna do, like, legs together next time I see her at the gym. And then literally the morning before, I had met a girl in the girls only section. Like, it's just so nice, like, having, like, a radiant, like, happy energy. Like, for real, just, people just love to talk to you, and it's so nice being able to have, like, a welcoming environment at the gym. I never a million years would have thought that I'd have that at Gold's Gym of all places. But all it took was me, you know, taking a leap of faith and getting the Gold Gym membership, you know? So, yeah, anything that you guys really want to do, I feel like don't be crazy girl or crazy boy and just, you know, do it without a plan, you know? But if you really want something, like, whether it be a certain job or you really want to start a hobby, like playing guitar, for example, is another thing that I need to take my own advice on and start doing it again, because I actually got my nails taken off because I wanted to start playing again. That's something I'll just have to take a leap of faith on that I'll be good at, because perfectionist Abby always wants to be good at anything that I do. And so if I'm, like, not good, like, a couple minutes into me doing it again, it'll be pretty unmotivating for me. But I have all of my ukuleles and all of my guitars in my closet ready to be played. I think I have to restring my acoustic, but, you know, if you want to play guitar, for example, like, if you have a friend that has one, like, I have 3 in between 2 acoustics and an electric. Like, y'all, if you don't play guitar, come to my house and we can jam together, you know? I'll teach you how to play. I'll teach you how to play ukulele. Or if you want to start to learn how to swim, fuck. Or if you want, like, literally anything. Like, if you want to play tennis or pickleball, like, you know, that dream person that you can see in your head that Like, imagine what kind of job you want, what hobbies do you want, what kind of partner do you want, what kind of home do you want to live in, what kind of lifestyle, what kind of routine do you want to have every day, how do you want to look, how are you going to achieve that look, what kind of foods are you going to eat, how is that going to make you feel on the inside, you know? I think about all of those things whenever I make choices for my life, and I feel like that's how you guys can, like, manifest your dream life. By when you make those leaps of faith, keep all of those things in mind. Because obviously, if we make a choice for ourselves, like, we're in control of our reality. We're, at least I would hope so, making choices that are for our utmost good, you know? So maybe this was just a little podcast episode to motivate you guys, because I've just been feeling that high of proudness for myself, and I feel like some people might just need to hear some motivation to encourage them to take a leap of faith for something that they really want and seems far away, but it really isn't. Oh my god. I drank a Truly before this and I cannot. Alright. I planned for this episode to be short anyways, because my last one was dead ass an hour long. And really heavy. If anyone listened to that, no one has told me. And there was some really deep shit in that episode. And honestly, I'm not going to say anything, because I'm not going to encourage y'all to listen to it, because it's really, really heavy. But it was like, I specifically made that episode because I just felt like it was a perfect time for me to explain myself for, like, why I am the way I am now, because I've been, like, in the process of healing, like, the deepest, utmost trauma that I have had in my entire life. And I swear I can't be the only one who has to feel this way. And so I feel like by me healing this trauma, I had to have an episode about it. Just so if anyone, literally if it's only one person listens to it and it helps them heal from the same trauma, like, perfect. That's what this podcast is for, you know? My life is for y'all now. Like, I made this to be able to express myself in a way that helps not only release what's on the inside for me, but to also help unleash what is on the inside of you guys and to help motivate you, you know? So yeah, I hope you guys have a fantabulous week. Oh my, I was literally fixing to say I hope you have a fantabulous week. I hope you have a fabulous, amazing, wonderful week. I'm excited for this rain. I hope you guys go outside, enjoy this rain, smoke a J, kiss a friend, just have an amazing week. And don't forget to smile and tell a neighbor that you love them. I love you guys, and thank you for listening to this episode of Divine FM.